You'll do anything for me. At this point, it's just unfair.
I can't deal with you right now. I'm just saying.
It's loyalty right there. It's loyalty. Why would you bring that kind of loyalty to
Violation, guys, we are talking to you guys about Temptation Island. I wonder if I said in my other reviews Married at First Sight rather than Temptation. Anyway, we're talking about obviously Chelsea and Thomas, and we're talking about Chelsea's absolute hypocrisy. Honestly, it's too much for me. We're going to talk about this, about how sometimes people are not accountable and they're hypocrites, and then they try to shift the blame. We're going to talk about all of that. Guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. You click on the bell button for notifications are up. Loads, we appreciate you guys as well. And really, if you're a returnee, then you already know what it is. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Yes. All right, let's talk about it. So we're dealing obviously with Temptation Island, dealing with Chelsea and Thomas, and one of the things that really came into my mind was that Chelsea made a big deal about old boy being flirtatious and moving mad, and we got to see her today kissing or allowing the boy Tom to kiss her on the cheek. Not only that, she was actually dancing with him as well. Okay, and when she was asked about this particular situation, when she saw this at the bonfire later on, she said, "Oh, he must have seen the dancing." No, sis, when he kissed you on the cheek too. Okay, so you were doing things and being lifted up and all that kind of stuff, and then you were talking about his flirtatious behavior, and yet you had the exact same thing. And this is where hypocrisy creeps in, and this is where if you're not conscious about your own behavior and you don't realize that sometimes you're talking out of insecurity, you do the very same thing that someone else did. You did the very same thing someone else just did. And I think that's very, very important to understand. She did exactly what he also did, and yet she complained about it, right? And so her biggest fear was him obviously flirt. Her biggest fear wasn't him flirting. Her biggest fear is what happens after the flirting, that he will leave her. And so sometimes when we're in fear, we act out a certain way, because evidently let's watch the whole clip. Look what man's doing. Look at how man's comfortable. Look how man's cozy, blood, man cozy, man touching man's gallon thing, what I'm saying, blood. Like on a real thing, like my man's so cozy, and she's allowed him to be cozy. Do you understand, right? She's allowed this guy to get so close, and then she has the audacity at bonfire to be concerned about what his behavior is doing. When he kissed that girl on the cheek, you were frustrated, but at that same thing that she had last week when we saw the bonfire. The same way she saw him kissing a girl on the cheek after he put a flower on her head was a problem, was the same way, obviously, that at that same week she was dancing on Tom. And this week, she allowed him to kiss him on the cheek, allowed him to kiss her on the cheek. Now, here's the thing. Someone might say, well, she wasn't the aggressor here, he was aggressive, but she allowed herself to be in that position. She didn't stop him. She didn't tell him no. She didn't say that was inappropriate. She didn't do any of those things. She allowed the kiss to happen on the cheek. Do you understand? We don't get another video where it shows her saying Tom shouldn't do that. The only reason why Tom went home is because she saw Tom was moving mad, not only with her, but also with Erica. So this wasn't really about Tom, kissing on the cheek. It was about the fact that Tom was moving mad and trying to sleep with people. That was the reason why. And we saw that Evan was discussing this, and they just wanted him to sleep with Chelsea. They didn't really care for her feelings. They didn't care. And so look at this. My man was moving sly, talking about how his boyfriend doesn't do this, X, Y, and Z. And really all he wanted was just the pom-pom. And there's many guys like that. That's why I loved what Thomas actually said. Oh, sorry. That's why I love what Thomas actually said. He said, listen, some guys are doing dirty macking. Stay hydrated. And it's something that obviously, in the past you might have done if you're a beta male. I've done it in the past when I was young. And then when I grew up, I realized, actually, no, there's actually more power in telling them the truth. There's more power in becoming the counselor, fixing their problems, and letting them lean on your shoulder. But that's another story for another day. And so, when obviously your game ain't tight and your game ain't strong and you don't have confidence in your own particular slay, you will take down another man by saying, you don't need to be there. He does this, he doesn't do that. Like Shaq did the exact same thing. When there's no confidence in your actual slay, your actual game, I'm not even... Listen, I remember one time, let me not tell too deep, but I remember one time to unlock the game of a certain girl, I never told her man's trash. I said, your man is probably good, bruv. End of the day, listen, here's what I will do. I don't care what he's doing. Here's what I'm going to do. I just told her what I'm going to do. That I don't care what he's doing, bruv. Because at the end of the day, I, number one, don't want you in a relationship. Number two, I just want to play. Number three, I can only tell you the truth. I don't want to tell you no lies. This is all I can do. Now, I might omit some certain truths, but I'm only going to tell you the truth. And I'm going to tell you this is what X, Y, and Z I can do. Okay? Because that's the game, right? But you don't be macking on someone else, boy. You don't be trying to trash the other person down to get up, man. That's very cheap. You know what I'm saying? That's very, very, very cheap. What I want to say as a flip side though is that he also felt a little bit annoyed by her particular behavior, which I found was quite interesting. And the reason why I found it quite interesting is because he was frustrated about the fact that she disrespected him by having the guy do this on camera, where she allowed him to kiss her, and she allowed him to disrespect him on the camera. And I was like, brother, it don't matter if he said something. It don't matter if he did something. Either way, you also overstepped the line. When you had that girl and you kissed her on the cheek, putting a flower on her head, that weren't flirting. That was you overstepping the line. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody wants their partner kissing girls on the cheek as a way of flirting. Sir, get your balls together. You are a grown-ass man. Grown-ass. In a grown-ass relationship, know there are levels and there are lines. Let's stop being children here. We want healthy, long-lasting relationships. You kissing someone on the cheek was never okay, which is why you're stressed now. Someone's doing the exact same thing to you, although you didn't call it that. But let's play a little clip.
All right. We came here to have fun, to explore, to make new connections. But I wouldn't allow any of the girls to look in the camera and talk to Chelsea.
And bro, what do you want? What do you want? A medal, bro? No beef, but what do you want? A medal, bruv? Like, what do you want? A medal? Because you wouldn't let another girl talk bad about her. But the mere fact that another girl is near you is just as bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. People try to start making qualifications like, I would never. But really, the truth of the matter is, you're just trying to control how much disrespect goes on. You're trying to control what is disrespectful. Let's keep it 100% true. What you are trying to control, what is disrespectful. Both of them are disrespectful. Him talking to the other girl, she talking to you. All of that is disrespectful. None of this should be happening, right? None of this should be happening, because at the end of the day, you are in a committed relationship, or well, before the show anyway, and this is not the kind of behavior you are hoping for to see in people who are committed to you. All right, so both of them have got problems at the moment, kissing guys on the cheek and allowing it to dance on each other, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the one at all, you know. And not only that, you know, she's now got a crush on someone. Let's just get that going. Let's get that going. You know, where she's admitting that she has a crush on.
Because it's like, I don't want to like do something and then he and I like still want to be together.
So now she's talking about to one of the girls and saying, obviously, look, she doesn't want to go to a place where she gets ahead of herself. And, you know, this is why I said this show is really mad. Because this should be clear waters. Either you're there or you're not. But this is very something which happens in relationships quite a bit. People break up and they're like, I don't want to move on just yet because I want to give them an opportunity to come back just in case. I want to give them room if they've made a mistake to come back. And this is what she's imitating on the island. Oh, I have to make sure that I leave a little bit of room just in case we've made a mistake, or just in case they've made a mistake and they want to come back, right? And so now we see a situation where she's now telling this girl on the island about the same method of working, even though this is something that happens when you're breaking up. And now she's talking about, oh, he may come back and I don't want to move on. Really and truly, sis, there is no moving on. I always say this to everybody. Anybody on this show, you don't want to be moving on just yet, because you haven't even fully finished your last relationship. You haven't healed. How can you move on? Your heart has not healed. How can you move on? How can you move on healthily? On a real thing, how can you move on healthily if you've not healed? Your last relationship you just died in, you now need to resurrect and heal. Take time, replenish, eat food, strengthen your body. Even Jesus, when he resurrected, wanted to eat some fish. My friend, go and make sure that you recover. Let's watch a bit more.
And it can work. But then the fact that we click so good, and then like now I kind of have a crush on someone. I'm like, this is so meant to be for me. But
now you have a crush on someone. That person being Blake, who had your little ups and downs previously, who pretty much manipulated Shaq into a situation which you don't know. But hey ho, you know, she's about to find herself in a vicious cycle. It feels like. This is how cycles keep going round and round when we make decisions like this, which are based on soulish things, based on, you know, a quick impulsive decision. You need time for yourself, Chelsea. If you find out that your boy is not meant for you, you getting over someone, it's not good to get under them. Okay, in this particular scenario, it's too soon, too quick. You're going to catch feelings for Blake, and then you're going to realize that you actually can't do this, or he's going to realize he doesn't want to do this because he knows he stole you from someone else too. In all honesty, let's just see.
Yeah. And I'm like kind of like avoiding it and like pushing it away.
I feel like if you're feeling this way, like you should go for it.
Hey, look at bad friends telling you to go for it and ditch your relationship. They won't be there when you finish. They won't be there when the relationship breaks down. They will not be there when the relationship breaks down. I can promise you guys, they will not be there when they break down. Sometimes certain friends' advice is not conducive for you. Do you understand? It's interesting because she said something which I want to go to it now, about what she deserves, right?
Whatever he wants, that's fine. I compromise so much and I give so much of my heart, and I feel like if I can't get a little respect in my relationship, then I deserve more.
Now, let me tell you something. She said this at the back of obviously watching him hold hands with you know, pretty little Senorita. Let me be very, very frank with you, sis. Were you not doing the same? Do you feel like you deserve more, but yet you were doing the exact same thing? Why do you think you deserve more? This confidence that you have because somebody's showing interest in you. Don't get it twisted. Look, sometimes people get confident and brazen when they suddenly get some bit of interest. Don't let the little bit of interest on this island fool you. Don't let the sexual energy that someone's presenting to you fool you. Don't let the temporary feelings that someone is showing you right now fool you and give you a false sense of strength. Am I saying not to leave the relationship? No, leave, but you don't have to go into another one. And secondly as well, being very careful, like you're saying, obviously you deserve more. But what I'm seeing from the show, you are doing the exact same thing. So what is there more to deserve? Right now it sounds a little bit arrogant. Just a little bit. But anyway, this is more of a feelings particular thing. There's nothing to learn as such, apart from the fact that, guys, don't become a hypocrite. If you know you're doing the exact same thing, you're guilty about the other person doing that thing, you're always going to be scared that the person will do something mad. I think she sees his behavior and thought that he might be doing something stupid, but now we've seen that given opportunity, she did the exact same thing. Hey guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification on the uploads. Stay hydrated.